Hi, ladies and gentlemen, I am Professor Merriweather, and the author of Enough is Enough. Public education has spiraled out of control. I am your host of Straight Talk in Room 503. I thank you again for joining me in class. Call a friend, tell a friend, text a friend, tweet a friend, tell them that Professor Merriweather is on his way to class to deal again with the messy truth. Ladies and gentlemen, there was an artist by the name of Lattimore. And Lattimore put out a song, "Sit yourself down, girl, and tell me what's on your mind. Let's straighten it out." That's what I want to do now. So sit yourself down. Tell me what's on your mind, because I've been telling you what's on my mind, and let's straighten it out. Stay with me. We're fixing to get busy with the messy truth. I want to very briefly tell you about a list of programs that could be cut according to the budget that President Donald Trump is presenting. This was in the Washington Post. $1.2 million for after-school program. $15 million for child care for low-income parents in college. $27 million in art education. $25 million for programs for Alaska Natives and Natives Hawaiian students. $72 million for international education and foreign language programs. $12 million for programs for gifted children. $12 million for education program for the Special Olympics. $168 million for grants states used for career and technical education. $96 million for adult basic education program. $13 million for Obama era initiative program, Promised Neighborhoods. More than 40 million position will be cut in the Office of Civil Rights. More than 700 million in Perkins loans for low-income students, and he care about our children. 450 million for federal work-study program. $1.6 million fund established by Congress for student support and academic enrichment. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a sad commentary. But ladies and gentlemen, look at this. He has no problem going to taking trips on the weekend to Mar-a-Lago. That costs us $3.7 million every time he go. And he's been not hundreds of times. He's been several times. So each time you hear that he's at Mar-a-Lago, know that we as taxpayers are paying $1.7 million for that weekend there to his country club where he gets the profit. But ladies and gentlemen, he's talking about cutting Pell Grants, and Pell Grants are for low-income students. So ladies and gentlemen, he's going to impact our children, senior citizen, after-school program, Meals on Wheels, Medicare. There will be cuts, $11 billion cuts in public education, healthcare, and it goes on. I don't want to take the hour. I got several more programs that he's cutting. And my question is, are you keeping up with what this president is doing? Ladies and gentlemen, there was a low turnout in the election. It's time we get busy and find out what the hell is going on. And we need to get busy as well. Ladies and gentlemen, you know I usually start the program by telling you, let me tell you a little bit what's going on in my hometown, because the same thing that's going on in your hometown, going on in my hometown and yours as well. On each Wednesday in my hometown of Jackson, Tennessee, the communities are saying they want to come together and that they want to pray for the community, pray for the children, pray for our leadership. And so they show it on my local news channel. They go to different churches and different schools and hold hands and they pray black and white together. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't understand this. People coming together to pray, but yet they won't come to the school board meeting, and they don't know where the tax dollars are going. They don't know how the school budget is being spent, and it's millions and millions of dollars. We have on the report card, our schools are in shambles. They're failing the students. Students can't read by the time they get to third grade. But yet they bow in their head. We're praying for the principals. We're praying for the teachers. We're praying for the Board of Education. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to say amen and get up and go into those schools and find out. Reverend Baxter and I have went to those schools. We went to 27 schools in my hometown. They're doing the same thing in your hometown. I'm checking they're having prayer meetings and they're praying. But ladies and gentlemen, to me, it's a smoke screen. Only the prayers of the righteous shall get through. Only sincere prayers shall get through. But if you got the devil holding hand with you, the good old boys holding hand with you, people who don't care about all people holding hand with you praying, ladies and gentlemen, that prayer not going anywhere. You could have stayed at home and watched Lordy and Hardy, one of the programs you accustomed to using. I value prayer. But ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to prayer, I'm serious about praying to my God. And it seems like they're praying for one thing, but they don't come to the school board meeting. They won't go to city council, county commission meeting. They won't get in to have community meetings where we discuss the issues that affects children. And ladies and gentlemen, they are our future. And if you don't check and take care of your future, then who are you concerned about? Ladies and gentlemen, that's a sad day. But ladies and gentlemen, let's go on further. I got some notes here that, if you don't mind me, I'm looking down. I want to make sure that I bring to you all the things I wanted to do. But we have an Arid Children Clinic in my hometown. West Tennessee Healthcare is the largest supplier of employees, 6,000 people. We have now a brother of color at the helm. He was in the position prior to that as interim, but now they elected him. They said, we like the way he worked. Well, maybe I can tell you why maybe they like the way he worked. When you check into where people of color versus people of color, of non-color, you will find out that they're holding the top positions. They're paying $100,000 and more. And we're holding position that barely paying $10 or $12 an hour. And we got family just like everybody else. But ladies and gentlemen, you'll find us in housekeeping, in food service, janitorial service. But yet at the helm, they got us. Isn't it amazing that they don't find people like Meriwether who want to do right by all people, who want to do right in the eyesight of God? But they find those people who will allow their children, their relatives, and their friends to get the best job. And ladies and gentlemen, they put them in position. But one thing for sure, we all would have to stand judgment one day. But ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. Now, we talked about the Wednesday night meetings, and we talk about, listen, 10 million people tune in to hear Comey, the outgoing director of the FBI. 10 million people tune in to hear him give us some information on Donald Trump. But ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you this. Not even 1,000 people will show up at a school board meeting when they start talking about children. But you can't beat them, baby. They're in church. They're in church. Let them always right. Sit yourself down, girl, and let's straighten it out. Let's talk to me. Because they're not there when it comes to our children. Everybody's child is important. I'm told that 91% of the people in prison, their parents was in prison. We have got to do a better job of establishing programs that will help our children and make sure that they don't end up going to institutions just like their parents. We got to break that cycle. You're not going to break that cycle holding hands and pretending you're praying because you care. You got to be sincere about this. But ladies and gentlemen, also I found out during the finals of the games between Cleveland and the Warriors, and I'm not into athletics and sports, don't really care for it a whole lot, but I looked at some of it. So if I get some of this wrong and say something, just look beyond it. But ladies and gentlemen, I do know that the champions was the Warriors. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm told and I read that they spent $1,200 a bottle for expensive champagne to pour over the players and the supporters after winning the game. And that comes to $180,000 was spent just spraying champagne on each $180,000. And ladies and gentlemen, can you imagine that would fund some Meals on Wheels after school program? When will the so-called people wake up and say, oh, we doing it wrong? We got to refocus, set some priority, and start really helping some people. But yet they'll be in church on Sunday morning, and some of them are in the pulpit praying and going on. They're no longer serious about people. It's just a show that's going on. Now, that's not true of all of them. We have some sincere pastors and ministers and evangelists in the church. But ladies and gentlemen, some of them are playing game with the minds of the people. It just doesn't make sense. The tickets for the game with Cleveland and the Warriors was running $3,000, some of them $3,000 to $4,000. One lady said that she spent $3,000. She didn't have any problem spending $3,000 to come to the game. But ladies and gentlemen, we won't spend 30 minutes to an hour in a board meeting listening and talking and conversing and asking questions about children. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not Christianity. I don't know what that is. Ladies and gentlemen, Lattimore, again, as I said, he's right. Girl, sit yourself down. God, sit yourself down. Let's talk about what's on your mind, because we need to really straighten this out. Here's another thought that's on my mind. I meant to talk about this a few minutes ago, but I have so many notes that I make in the course of the week. But Reverend Baxter and I are trying to get a preschool program started in our community, because they're closing our schools in our community and busing our children across town. And we're coming together in this 90 degrees heat, holding hands, praying, asking God to intervene. And God want to know, well, what are you doing? What are you doing to make it better? Ask yourself, students, that. What am I doing to make things better? Will God say to me when he meet me, and then I'll stand before judgment, well done, thy good and faithful service? Or would he say, you sure did go to church a lot and pray? You sure did hold hands in the community and pray? You sure did vote for those politicians? It was no good for all of the people. What would he say? But we found out that the guy who's over adult education program in 17 counties, which includes my county, is not a person of color. They got the best jobs. They are positioned in control of how programs affect people of color. And ladies and gentlemen, we're not answering any question. We're simply electing more politicians. Something is badly wrong, ladies and gentlemen. We got to do better than we're doing. Ladies and gentlemen, here's what I want to know. Coming out of the finals for the Warriors and the Cleveland Lakers. Not the Lakers, ladies and gentlemen. I told you about that. I'm not into sport. But ladies and gentlemen, I do know this. They want the best players on all the team. They want LeBron James and Curtin and Peyton Mannings and the Michael Jordans. They want the best boxer, the best baseball player, the best track player. Why don't we want the best superintendent, the best administrator, the best teachers for all of our children? That is what private school want, because they wait and get our effective teachers and carry them across the line to their children. But then we don't ask who are the teachers, what are their qualifications, how are they doing with the children. We don't ask those questions. But if we can do that in sport, why can't we do that in public education? Ladies and gentlemen, listen. The clock on the wall says time for me to get out of here. God is a door opener. He opened doors for all people. My question to you, are you a door opener? Do you open the doors to make sure that our children get the best education? Or are you going to sit back and let Professor Merriweather and Reverend Baxter struggle each week to try to improve public education? Not only am I talking about public education in Madison County, this classroom reaches students across this nation. And I know that I have people in many, many states who are in class. In fact, I got more people in class in states than I have in Tennessee, and certainly I have them in cities more so than in Jackson, because they just simply say, that's Professor Merriweather. He's raising hell about public education. My question to you, what are you raising hell about? Are you just sitting there and then watching TV, grinning and shaking and scratching, talking about, as some of our civil rights leaders, I was playing golf with the mayor. The mayor going to be speaking at my event. And ladies and gentlemen, so we ask ourselves, are we really benefiting from what we put into office? Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for you to sit yourself down, as Lattimore say, and let someone talk to you. If you will not listen to Professor Merriweather, perhaps you need to do some soul searching, because I'm going to continue to hold classes and hold our good old boys and our leadership. I'm going to hold their feet to the fire. I believe that God wants us to make sure that all children get a quality education, that we get some of those good jobs. There's no sense in sending your child to school if they're on their way to prison, gangbanging and everything. Have you ever stopped and thought, these people are oppressed? They have no direction. We need to put people in position that genuinely care about our people. Ladies and gentlemen, until we meet again in class, I'm your host, Morris Merriweather, the author of Enough is Enough. Public education has spiraled out of control. I'll see you next week, and we'll be doing the same thing as Lattimore said. Girl, sit yourself down. God, just sit yourself down. Tell me what's on your mind, because I'm sure going to tell you what's on my mind. And let's straighten it out. I'll see you next week. Take care of yourself.